He was
definitely
good
better in that one than the Sam Raimi ones.
But there were too many Spider-Mans.
There's too many
and
Marvel
too many
anything.
Green Goblins and too many other things.
You're getting close to You're getting close to blasphemy, Bo.
There were 24.
Chill out.
Look, there were 24 arms of octopus in that movie.
I really hope that doesn't mess with the green screen too much.
We're not back.
Hey,
yet,
Bo.
but we need to get.
Yeah,
back.
but you also now don't have the table in the same position as before.
New segment.
And I don't remember where it was.
Doesn't matter.
Right, yeah, I guess not. Nothing matters anymore.
Welcome to the Friday Game Night Pick'em Show here on AccessWDUN.com. Bo Wilson alongside Jeff Hart. And somewhere in Atlanta, Walker McQuarrie is in a hotel room. He's holed up in a hotel room. I did. And of course, our producer said, Chad. But if you're wondering where the fifth guy of the show is,
fifth Beatle.
That's great counting there. Bo.
Yes, I had to count real quick. Caleb Hutchins is a little under the weather today. So,
speaking that, it was a downpour. It was a downpour for most of the early part of the week. He probably he's still drowning.
It was a downpour. It much was a downpour. Speaking of downpours, Gainesville downpoured on Friday night on Houston County. Holy
Excellent
cow.
transition, Bo. Very good transition.
What was it, a 35-point swing and how many?
35 in a row.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, it was one of those, we were talking about that. Could they stop Houston County? That was the question most everybody in the state was saying. How good was Gainesville's defense? And I'll tell you, this was my impression. The first two drives by Houston County, they went 3 and out. 2 huge sacks. Seth, you were there. That one by T-Lander was unbelievable.
I told you in last week's show, you got to get hit by that guy once, and you're probably rattled for the rest of the game.
Well, I was telling you this. The rest of the game after that, every play they ran was to wherever T-Lander was, that's where they were not going. And so they had to alter their entire...
That's what you call good coaching right there, Jeff.
What? What did you almost call Jeff?
I don't know.
Jess.
I don't want to know.
Jess.
Let's just move on. I don't want to know. God, no. He has pet names for everybody. I don't like them.
Well, it's not a pet name for you. Jeff Rowe.
Is that good or bad?
Jeff Rowe.
Anyway, what?
Did I bust your thought?
Oh, I don't know. Not really.
Kind of feel like you
I'm
did.
thinking now like I normally think, which is kind of all over the place.
All over the place. So what you were saying was that they were running away from T-Lander.
Yes, they were. But the Gainesville defense is underrated. Even though it took 2 really short punts and 2 plays was how Houston County got a 14-7 lead. You take out those 2 plays, they probably don't score until sometime late in the third quarter. That Gainesville defense is underrated. They did a fantastic job, and the defense set them up and helped set them up for 35 straight points. By the time that ended, it was 42-14. The game was essentially over. Now they did get a couple of late touchdowns, but Trey Reese, the dagger in the back, whatever the Navy SEALs do, and they come up and they just gut people. That's what that running.
Nice analogy there, Jeff.
Yeah, that's
we're talking about gutting people.
Yeah, well, that's what Trey Reese did. 95-yard kickoff return, and that sealed any comeback.
Well, you know what, Walker? Speaking of not underrated, is the Gainesville offense.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we talked about the fact that Gainesville just, they might go slow into a game, but then all of a sudden in the blink of an eye, they score like 3, 4, 5 touchdowns in a row. And that's exactly what Gainesville's done, just game in and game out, outside of maybe the North Forsyth game where they, kind of had to get their feet underneath them. And then the kickoff return kind of just blew the game open and switched the momentum. I think
kickoff return again.
Yeah, but in the other 12 games of the season for the Red Elephants, I think that they've had a stretch where they've scored at least 3 touchdowns on 3 straight possessions, and that's just what this Red Elephant team just continues to do. The question is, can they continue to do that as the games keep getting tougher, especially going into this semifinal game, the first time they've been on the road since the season finale against was it Shiloh?
The season finale was against Jackson.
Jackson
County.
County
was at
was
home.
Jackson County. Okay,
But
But
that was
Shiloh,
at home.
yes.
But Shiloh, which goes back into like early November or
so
mid-October or something.
You're right.
Yeah, you're looking at over a month, close to a month and a half that this Red Elephant team has been able to camp out in City Park and, play in front of the home crowd. Now they have to go to McEachern, not Roswell, but McEachern. It's still a road trip, and there's going to be more Roswell fans there, I imagine, than there will be Gainesville fans, just given proximity.
Right.
How are they going to be able to perform on the road? That's the question to ask.
Well, the question to ask is that, and I think the other question, and I think Coach Niblett, after the game, and you can check that interview out. It's up on Access, but I think he talked about making some mistakes and continuing to clean those up.
Yes. Well, penalties had been an issue. Look, they had 6 or 7 penalties, which is, about half of what they've had in some of their games. But they didn't have any penalties that really put them, behind the 8 ball or, took a score away or set up something. The penalties they have were, they were just kind of football things that happened. None of them were huge. I think they did clean that up. A little bit, early in the game, the offense was a little inconsistent, but they got one score. But I think in their first 4 drives, they had 3 punts, including those really 2 short punts. I thought they did a good job of kind of cleaning up some of the things that had been an issue. But again, they're going to have to. It's not necessarily. They're just going to have to maintain that now and try to continue to cut down even more on some of the the silly mistakes that every team makes. You just don't want to make that many of them when you get this deep in the playoffs.
All right, guys, let's talk about something real quick. And yes, it's a jab at the Georgia High School Association, but let's talk a moment.
Well, it wouldn't be a show.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Let's take a moment a little bit because Walker just mentioned a while ago the game's at McEachern. Okay, so the reason the game is at McEachern is because the Georgia High School has a seating requirement for these stadiums in the playoffs. Now, for the first 10 games of the season, that's okay, but when you get, the first, with the first couple 3 rounds of the playoffs, it's okay.
It's okay.
You're fine. But now here we are, semifinals, and all of a sudden it's a big deal. Milton is playing Mill Creek. They're going to Lakewood. They were supposed to be at Milton, North Fulton. Why are you going to Lakewood? You've got Roswell going over to McEachern to play Gainesville. I mean,
Hughes is also playing at
Hughes is also playing at Rome at Lakewood. And so you see this, a lot of these games were coin tosses. So, like for Gainesville, they lost to coin toss because of the bracket. So you got 2 number 1 seeds. Well, if you can't host a game, according to the Georgia High School Association seating requirements, then it goes back to, how about Gainesville? Does Gainesville have enough seating to host the game? Does Mill Creek have enough seating to host the game with Milton? Right. It's crazy to go that far away, especially for Milton and Mill Creek to play that game.
That is insane. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a few years ago, Jefferson lost. Jefferson lost a semifinal game because they didn't have enough seats, and it went to. They went to Thompson. I think it was. I think they had to go to the other team that had seating. So has that policy changed? Because if Roswell doesn't have enough seating and Gainesville does, they should be playing that game at City Park Stadium.
Right.
Well, here's my question with it all.
Or at Mill Creek.
Yeah, here's my question with it. Why is in basketball, for instance, the Final Four at a neutral site and the championship at a neutral site? Why can't that be a blanket policy across all sports that the GHSA sets up these neutral sites where you go play at Bobby Dodd Stadium, you go play at Valdosta State, you go play at Barry, you go play at West Georgia? Why can't we do that and, make it a neutral site for the semifinals like we do in basketball where Quad A goes down to Armstrong and 3A goes to Georgia College? And it just seems like if you're going to do it for one sport, let's just make the blanket policy for everything.
Yeah, but if we're going to make the blanket policy on that, then the North Georgia area is going to get screwed out of hosting a game somewhere because it's always going to be, South Georgia or Macon or in that area. When you see all those things,
because
that's
true.
If you look at basketball, you go back to basketball. How many games are played at North Georgia? That perfect
just the
place.
1 year.
Yeah, just a 1 year.
1 year.
You know, you
They
have
do
Buford, but Buford hosts what 7A?
because they have a big arena.
Yeah, because they have the
But
arena.
Buford could host a region or a classification at Tom Ryden Stadium. They've got enough seats for sure.
And how about, I know this is football, but that's always been a 7A site because they weren't 7A. What's going to happen this year in basketball? Where are they going to move that, or is that going to be at Buford?
I guess that's going to be 6A.
They're just it just. I'm not saying there's no thought put into it, but it just seems like there's not enough thought put into this. Projecting down the road and this, or if you have a policy in place like they did a few years ago when Jefferson got hosed out of a home playoff game, they had to go play at the other team's home site. But now that Gainesville's involved, that's not happening. You got what Rome is involved. That's not happening. I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You got everybody traveling now.
Now, I will say that I did not look up the official ruling in the White Book on what happens when you don't have enough seating. Did the GHSA pick these sites, or did Roswell have to find a site to play? Did Milton have to find a site to play? Did Hughes have to find a site to play at? Or is this picked by the Georgia High School Association?
My understanding, talking to Coach Niblett when we were when we heard that they were going to be playing that game at McEachern, because the first thing we all said was, "What, McEachern? Yeah. Why is that going to McEachern?" And the explanation that was given to me is their home game, they get to pick.
Okay, well.
Mandatory seating requirements come into play for this week's semifinal round football games. This is from the GHSA website. Beautiful. Rules, page 74, item B-1C, requires schools to have a minimum of 6,000 permanent seats to host a semifinal game in 7A.
Okay, time out. Let's talk about permanent seating, okay? All right, we can go to a park and rec right now, and the seating bleachers at the baseball fields are set on concrete. Now, they're not tied down. They're sitting there, right? Those are considered permanent seating. But from what I understand, the GHSA will not allow you to bring in seating like that because, quote, not permanent. Anyway, finish.
So
to
hold a semifinal game, I went straight to the rule book just to get all the numbers across the board. It's 6,000 seats for 6 and 7A, 4,000 for 4 and 5A, 3,000 for 3A, 225 for 2A, and Class 1A has 2,000 seats, and all seats must be at least 15 feet from the playing field. One seat equals 24 inches in width, yada, 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 yada. If they do not have a stadium,
do you fit?
If the higher seeded team in the semifinal round is the host team, if they do not have a stadium that meets GHSA minimum standards, they may secure a suitable site. So the higher seeded team, according to Rule 8 or Rule B, number 1.237
FG.
Yeah, that's changed because I distinctly remember there was a controversy with Jefferson, and it got moved to the other team because Jefferson did not have enough seating.
Okay, I got more for you. Both teams in the semifinal round have the same seating. The coin flip will determine the host team. The winner of the coin flip will have the opportunity to bring its stadium up to specs, as outlined in the above. And they have until 4 p.m. on the Monday before the game to commit to bringing their stadium up to specs or secure a suitable site. If the winner cannot secure a suitable site or bring theirs up to specs, the opponent will then be awarded the home team. So I'm assuming that Jefferson in that scenario couldn't find a suitable site nor could bring their stadium up to specifications, which is why they went to Thompson.
So if you're going to bring your stadium up to specification within 7 days of the next game, the only way you can do that is bring bleachers in.
Yes, and it says that you can do that. There must be no costs for the temporary seating taken out of game receipts, so that has to come out of the budget straight up before you even talk about bringing in gate. So I'm sure that plays a part in this as well, is that they have to pay for the seating ahead of time.
Here's another
not knowing how many come in.
Here's another issue I see. Fulton County is the largest county in Georgia, and 3 of the teams that they have in the playoffs are having to go to neutral sites because they don't have enough seating. Surely, when you talk about big schools, and a lot of them are in Fulton County, why are they not bringing their stadiums to where they could do this so that they don't have to go to all these neutral sites. Now, I get that if you're a Banks County or, you're a one-county school or a White County. I know Gainesville, we've talked about this in the last week or so, that they're in the works of revamping their field, their home side of their field. So we'll, when we learn more about that, we'll talk about that. Maybe that's what they're looking into to bring that up to maybe there's not 6,000 seats at City Park.
Maybe there's not, but in that situation,
they would find seating.
Gainesville could find a suitable site if Roswell weren't able to as well. That's another option, right. And I'm sure there's places that Gainesville has access to that.
Well, the first option
would definitely choose.
As you said, the first option was for the host school to find a suitable place to play, and I'm sure that's what Roswell wanted to do. They didn't want to punt it back to Gainesville because they didn't want to come to City Park. So I'm sure that's what they did. And look, can't blame them for that. But anyway, this game's going to be played at McEachern High School down in Powder Springs Friday or tonight, 8 o'clock kickoff. Excuse me, because a wonderful Peachtree TV decided to pick it up. You can also hear the game live on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. By the way, the playoff standings look like this. Caleb in the lead. He's still at one game over Jeff. Seth is in third. I am one game behind Seth. And then Walker, boy, you're in the basement, son.
I'm waiting on Lanier Land.
We're not picking those games. You can't make up on that. Sorry about that.
Hey, and
I'm sure we're going to do a preview show, though.
Look. Yes, we will. Look, I won.
Good job, Bo.
Thank you. I think this is the first time this year that I've won a weekly pick, right?
I would believe that's probably correct, considering that you were not good most of the year. And I say not good, you were only at like 75%.
Yeah, but I was terrible. So
I'll tell you what, though, guys. I said I'm waiting for Lanier Land. I guarantee that I'm going to beat you guys in any kind of bowl pick'em that we might do later on as well. Either on air or off air. I'll beat you in those.
Lots of guarantees coming from you, Walker.
I'm telling you.
I mean, come on now.
A lot of talk for someone who's dead last.
Ooh.
Bringing up the rear there, old son. Gainesville, Roswell, these two teams on paper look very similar when you look at these. I got a chance to talk to Coach Niblett earlier in the week and just kind of talking about, several different things. You can hear that interview live on the pregame show tonight with Judd and Dan, so you can hear the full interview from Coach Niblett. But, Coach Niblett has done a fantastic job, he and his staff, to kind of flip the attitude.
Attitude's a good word.
Of the program, right. And has the players buying in. And you just talk to Coach Niblett, and you just sense it when you're talking to him.
Does he make you? When I talk to him, I feel like, oh, I'm 20 again, and I can go play. Do you get that sense? I mean, he has a way of just making you feel like you're ready to go do something. I don't know what it is.
Very motivational.
Very. Really enjoy talking to him. The interviews I've had, they seem to get better every week as we get to know him a little better, because first year. And getting to understand what we do and how, what we like to do, particularly with, teams like the Gainesville and Buford and Jefferson. We want to do that with everybody. We would love for some of the Hall County teams to get involved in the playoffs next year. Hint. That would be good.
It is.
Because we would
Just
like everybody
out there,
we
Jeff.
like everybody to get involved. Well, they think they think we don't cover them, but we kind of go where the playoffs go. Sorry about that, but
real nice, Jeff.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out.
All right,
there.
So Gainesville, Roswell, who's going to win this game? Let's start the picks here, guys.
Not everybody at
Look,
once.
okay, fine. I'll go with it.
Picks 23 minutes into the show, sure, guys.
I will start picking here.
Okay, you're going to start. Okay.
Yes, this game is at a neutral field, no matter what you think. I know
Does
Roswell.
That matter?
Roswell picked, McEachern to play at. Yes, it's going to be their home game. But it's at a neutral field. Let's just face that. Gainesville been playing really well here in the playoffs. They're averaging like almost 50 points a game. It's crazy. They're giving up like 14 points a game overall this season. So what they did to Houston County last week, a lot of people said, hey, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it did happen. And with all the playmakers they have on offense, Can Roswell slow them down? I did get to watch some of that game last week, Roswell, Thomas County Central, and that was a very interesting game because Roswell, they were down by a couple scores, maybe 3 scores, and they came back to take the lead and win that game. So they have the rally in them. It's going to be I think it might be a good old-fashioned slobber knocker in this one, but it's going to be hard for me to pick against Big Red. So I'm going to pick Gainesville to win this one.
I'll let y'all all go, and then I'll go last because I'm going to intro my part with the stat of the week.
Oh.
So y'all go ahead.
Oh, so let's see. If he wasn't going to use the stat of the week, I was going to take over his segment, but I'll let him have it, I guess.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, Jeff, I'm looking out for you. Here's the thing. Roswell, like you said, Bo, trailed by 18 points in the second half last week to Thomas County Central. They did come back. I don't think that they can do that against this Gainesville defense. We mentioned this Gainesville defense is so underrated. You know, we talk about how Gainesville just scores points. Baxter Wright, Naeem Cheeks, the list goes on and on. Trey Reese, Darius Cannon, all these weapons that Gainesville has on the offensive side. This defense is legit. It's state championship worthy, at least getting to the game. I don't know if they can win it, but they can at least get to the state championship game behind that defense. I think Gainesville wins this game. They get that stretch of 3 or 4 scores in a row to get a big lead and then hang on to it. I think Gainesville can win this game by 2 or 3 possessions.
I agree with everything Walker just said. I don't think any team really is going to be able to trail early or trail at all behind Gainesville and then get that momentum back up. I think Gainesville's a team that once you're down against them, you're kind of down. So I'm taking Gainesville to win this one.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say I also am going to pick Gainesville. But the reason, just for what Walker had just talked about the underrated defense, here's the stat of the week. So if you want to go ahead and run that.
Roll the tape.
Here's some things you need to know.
It's Jeff Hart's interesting stat of the show.
Very catchy.
I do want to ask a question.
Very catchy.
The entire time that you guys paused to let me throw that in there, are we all just singing it in our heads?
Yes, we definitely
okay.
are.
Just
Yeah,
wanted
we
to
are.
confirm. Okay.
Yeah, of course we are. And here's where Gainesville's underrated is really in their run defense. So, we talk about they got speed at linebacker, speed in the secondary. You got T-Lander, who he's hitting people hard. People are running away from him. But they have held their last 3. They have faced the top 2 rushing teams in Class 6A. They've held both to well under half of their season average. They held the top rusher to less than 100 yards. They held the number 2 rusher to just under 100 yards. Now, last week, the big rusher for Houston County, he did get 135 yards, but almost all of that came in the fourth quarter. So when they needed it most, that is where Gainesville is winning. They are, when you talk to Coach Niblett, and I've talked to Coach Niblett, they want to turn the other team's offense one-dimensional. So they're going to attack one. They're going to attack the run game or the pass game. They've had big-time rushers coming in. That has been where they have attacked the other team's offense. Last week they had 9 tackles for loss, 3 big sacks. They've got 20 turnovers for the season, 85 tackles for loss on the season. That's 6.5 a game. I mean, that's a big-time number. That's where they're winning these games. The offense is explosive, yes. They're going to get their points.
So,
That's
the stat of the week, right?
So, if you have one word to describe your stat of the week, what would it be?
Hyphenated tackle for loss.
Hyphenated tackle for a loss. Okay.
Was there a number in there?
85. 85.
Yeah, he finally got to it.
85
The monologue was long, and then we got to the 85.
I got hypnotized
Yes,
by all the
I
planes
was-
landing. At
It's all
Hartsfield
about the
Jackson.
numbers, folks.
Yeah.
We got to have
I
the
know,
numbers.
but y'all look. The thing is, y'all made fun of my monologue, which only
Your
makes
monologue?
makes me want to monologue longer. So kind of like in the first Incredibles movie, where
And-
you
were
got me monologuing.
You
Oh,
were
I can't
monologuing.
believe it.
All right, guys, let's get to some more games here.
Oh, there are more games.
There are more games.
Okay,
there are more games.
All right.
Class 7A, we'll start there. Carrollton at Colquitt County.
Oof.
You have to say
Is
it
that how you
like that
pronounce it?
according
Did we
to
learn that last
Gene
week?
What was
Anderson.
that?
Colquitt County. Nobody responded from Colquitt County or Colquitt County.
I'm going to call him Colquitt just because you called him Colquitt.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Gene Anderson because he's traveled everywhere.
Yes.
He pronounces Colquitt.
Colquitt.
Colquitt. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go with Colquitt. Hope we're doing that right.
Gene
I
Anderson
tell you
told me what a pecan tree looks like.
Yeah, of course he did.
I'll start this one if you want.
Gene's the man.
I'm going to go with
Gene is
Colquitt
the man.
County. Here's an interesting stat. It's not a new stat thing, but this comes
Roll
from
the tape.
No.
No, he doesn't get it twice. Not twice.
2 times.
No.
All right, go ahead, Jeff.
I don't know if he ran it or not. Anyway,
It's so hot in here.
yeah. Well, their coach, I was reading this. This comes from the high
Nice
school,
lights.
Georgia High School Football Daily.
Yep.
They put out some really cool stuff if you're looking for info on
Never
the game.
give us any credit.
Their
Yeah.
coach is Sean Calhoun. He was Carrollton's coach from 2016 to 20, but before that, he was Colquitt's offensive coordinator. They are 43-0 when he is on their staff. They haven't lost a game when he's been on the Colquitt staff.
So you're saying it's going to be 44-0?
I think so. I'm going to go with Colquitt County on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Carrollton. Although they're Carrollton, okay.
There's no dispute on how you say that one.
I don't think so.
No.
Carrollton.
No.
Carrollton.
Carrollton.
Yeah. Everybody agree with that?
Carrollton.
Yeah, I think so.
Carrollton.
Okay. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Colquitt County just because Carrollton has to go down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
gotta
take the
be one of
Packers.
great places to play.
I'll take the Packers as well. I don't know that the 43-0 stat is what gets them through. I don't know that it's
Oh,
Sean
but come
Calhoun's
on.
the
That's a
answer.
great
I don't know that
stat.
Sean Calhoun's the answer, but
Seems
this
like
Packers
it.
team is really, really, really good. And did you know this was this is Colquitt and Carrollton's first ever meeting?
Hey,
Yeah,
there's
that's
your stat of the show.
That's
There you
exactly
go.
right.
Listen, how many players have come
Not
and
doing
gone?
the intro
Guys
again.
on staff have come and gone at Colquitt County. They're when he's on there,
You
he's
said
the
Colquitt.
only. Whatever. He's the only one. He's the only common denominator in those 43 games. It is him. It is him.
Well, we'll see. I think that this game's very close. Carrollton's pretty
Okay.
good, but I'll take Colquitt County and the Packers to win this one, but maybe not next week.
Okay. So that's what you got.
Triple not so fast, guys.
Whoa!
I'm gonna go against the grain here.
Oh.
Someone remind me what that line is on that game.
It's
A -1 for Colquitt.
1 point. See,
no.
we
Okay.
saw what
One.
happened with Walton and Buford, and then we turned around and saw what happened with Walton and Carrollton.
I see where you're going with this. Look at you.
So I'm going Carrollton on
He's
this
riding
one.
a hot hand, or so he thinks.
Good pick.
According to Bo, everybody's got hot hands in here because it's just hot.
Carrollton
It's
played
hot.
that game. Carrollton played that game at home.
So hot you're
and
on fire.
Colquitt County
It's
is a
orange.
totally different beast.
You know what? I
What?
don't care.
Obviously.
What, that you're orange or that stat there?
But neither. I guess I don't care. I made myself orange. It's okay.
You did. Okay, let's move to in honor of our friend
A rant.
Dan Kiley.
Oh, Dan
Kiley.
Kiley. Okay.
Mill Creek at Milton.
Here's why I don't care about the Sean Calhoun stat. Mill Creek's going to win the state championship.
Amen.
So regardless of whether Colquitt County makes it
Did
through,
you say
the first
amen?
loss for Sean Calhoun
Yes.
and Colquitt County is
So
gonna
I said it
happen
last
next
week. Mill Creek's the
by
favorite to
100.
win 7-8.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
Mill Creek by 100 in this game.
I
Whoa.
second it.
Wow.
Uh,
100.
I second that.
Okay.
Roll the music.
I second. What music?
I don't know.
I wasn't prepared for this.
You were not prepared.
I'm going to take Mill Creek also, but I don't know about the 100 points. Maybe 50.
Agreed. I'll take Mill Creek.
Okay.
So last week, as we move on down in Class 4A, North Oconee played who?
Oh, I forget who they played. I will tell you
They
in
played-
memento.
Wayne County.
Wayne County, yes.
Oh, yes. Our
Jay
old buddy,
Beauchamp.
J.J. Beauchamp. How did that go?
Well, not too well.
Not.
North Oconee.
I think it was 31-12. That's not bad.
Here's the deal with this game. Here's the two best teams in 4A meeting in the semifinals, in my opinion. North Oconee, Cedartown. At Cedartown.
Right.
Which, by the way, has a great store in Cedartown that you can find anything that you want, because it's one of those pallet stores, where they go get
Can
all
I buy
the tools.
a Mace Windu lightsaber?
Yes, probably somewhere
Wow,
laying around
okay.
there. Anyway, North Oconee at Cedartown. What say you guys? Who wants to start this one?
Ugh.
Go, Jeff.
Oh, wow.
You have been volunteered.
Look, I've been saying all along.
He volunteered me to put together this list this morning. So
Yeah, thank you, by the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hart.
I didn't mean to pick all the hard ones. I've been saying all year I thought North Oconee was going to win the state title. But that Cedartown team is probably the only team that can match them, and they get the game at home. I think I'm going to have to go against what my pick has been all year on North Oconee, and I'm going to have to go with Cedartown. That's one of those tough places to play. It's the home of Nick Chubb, so I'm going to. Although look, it's been a while since Cedartown's been quite this good, but this is a special team. I'm going to take Cedartown, but it would not shock me if North Oconee wins this game.
let me ask you this, because you guys are up in the Hall County area.
Yes.
How did North Oconee fare against the Cherokee Bluff run game, or some of the better run game?
Not even close.
They shut it down.
They dominated.
That I think that's the big difference in this game. Cedartown, they attempted just 4 passes last week, ran for 425 yards, came back from behind. I think North Oconee's defense can slow down Cedartown enough to win this game. Titans close. I think they're 7-point underdogs in this game. I think this is a very low-scoring game, and I think the question is, can North Oconee stop that run game one time more than the Cedartown defense stops North Oconee's balanced attack?
Oh, there it is. There it is. And you're 100% correct. Can they stop them one more time? And I think North Oconee can. Although they have to go to Cedartown, I know the home crowd environment up there is going to be absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
But North Oconee, I believe, travels pretty well, too, especially when you get into the playoffs.
Right.
I think North Oconee's offense is – you said 425 yards for Cedartown on the ground last week. I think North Oconee's a little more balanced and a little more explosive. So I'm going to pick the Titans in this one on the road.
Okay. Seth?
It's up to you, Seth Rowe.
I'm going to go and agree with Bo. I'm going to hop on the coattails on that one.
Wow. So I'm out there all alone. Taking
All
the home,
by yourself.
Taking the home team that's favored. I'm all alone. That's surprising.
Roll the music.
What you get is silence, because I am not prepared.
Speaking of another friend of the show, Ben Hall and his Oconee County Warriors are going down to
Cedar Grove.
Ouch.
God bless you.
I started the last one. Somebody else has got to start the hard one.
Cedar Grove. I'm going to go with Cedar. Look, Oconee County, I picked against them the last 2 weeks, and it's burned me. But Cedar Grove wins this one.
I think so.
Oconee County, I'm reading this from Georgia High School Daily. Because
Here he goes. He's going to go against the grain.
Oconee County is the only semifinal team that's won 3 playoff games on the road this year and can become the 12th team in history to reach a final with 4 victories away from home if they win this game. They're not winning this game.
Ooh, and there it is.
Oh, wow.
By the way, did you get your 80 followers on Twitter?
I didn't ask for it. I only asked for it when they lost a game, and they haven't lost a game. I've continually motivated them, I feel like. So maybe Oconee County can win this, although they are 0-5 all time against number 1 teams from the same classification. So I don't see that changing. I think they're going to be 0-6 come Saturday morning.
I think 2 of those were in the state finals a few years ago. So it's not like, they didn't get far. I like this Oconee. I got to see them against Lumpkin. Yes, Lumpkin is nowhere near the class that Cedar Grove is. I mean, Cedar Grove's one of the probably 3 or 4 best teams in Georgia, all classes. But they can pass, they can run, and they have size and can play defense. That being said, it's at Cedar Grove.
So who you picking?
The defending state champs.
Right.
I'm going with Cedar Grove. But I think they can make a game of this, and if they can get a break or two, maybe they can pull off the upset. But that'll be the biggest upset in the state if they win this game, I think.
Look, I'm going to throw just one more game out there, and all you need to do right here is just pick the winner. Are you ready?
Wait, did Seth pick?
Seth did not pick.
Sorry, Seth. Go, Seth. My bad.
Cedar Grove.
Oh, okay. All right, that was quick. We waited that long for that. Scintillating. Just scintillating.
Okay.
A man of few words.
Listen, when you forget to let me pick, you don't get much out of me, okay?
Seth just proved or just showed everyone how you're going to pick this next game, okay?
Okay.
All right. No comments, no nothing. Just pick the winner.
Okay.
Hughes versus Rowan.
Hughes.
Hughes.
Langston Hughes.
That's 2 words.
Hughes.
Okay. That's it?
I just called them by their official name.
It's going to set up a Langston Hughes Gainesville Class 6A state championship.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That would be.
That'll be fun. All right, guys.
Great. We get to go to Georgia State Stadium again.
Center Park
Yay!
Stadium.
In December. Rainy
I bet it's
and
gonna be
foggy.
Yeah, I bet it's going to be raining and foggy. Guaranteed.
Please, no.
Yeah.
not
Hey, I'll drive
again.
past that stadium a little bit later today. I'll go ahead and mark off your spot in the press box.
Yeah, go ahead and do
Thank
that.
you.
Sure.
Thank you very much. We
Call
appreciate
Steve
that.
as well. Okay.
How about a parking space while you're at it?
Let's move to the locks of the show, guys. Jeff, you get to pick first. You're 3-0.
Wait, that's all the games.
No
We're not
roundup?
gonna
Wait,
pick
we're
the
not
other-
running down?
We're not
No
gonna pick
rundown?
the other-
Oh, you want to run them down?
Yeah, let's run
All
down.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's run
All
down.
right. Okay.
Every
Look,
semifinal game.
here we go. Run down rules. Just pick the team. No talk. Ready?
Okay.
Class 5A Dutchtown at Ware County.
Ware County.
Where?
Ware County.
Sure. Where? Cartersville at Warner
Here.
Robins.
Here.
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 I'm going to go with Warner
asked
Robins.
where.
Sure.
I'm going with Cartersville.
Okay. I'm feeling really good because Walker has really. How do I say this polite? He sucks in the playoffs, and so I'm feeling good when he's picking against us. So
I hear you.
I'm
Troop at,
going Warner Robins.
Warner Robins.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Troop at Benedictine.
Benedictine.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Benedictine.
Same.
Benedictine.
And here you have it, folks. Carver, Atlanta at Sandy Creek. What you got?
Wow, this is a tough one.
Do.
Sandy Creek won the game. They played once already this year. Region.
I thought we
foes.
were just picking the games. Carver, Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Carver, Atlanta. Okay, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Sandy Creek.
I'll take Sandy Creek as well.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Carver.
okay.
Next up.
Fellowship Christian at Fitzgerald.
Fellowship.
Fellowship.
I'm gonna go with Fitzgerald.
I'm going to go with Fitzgerald as well.
Half and half.
So who went like? So Seth and Walker went with
Correct.
With Fellowship. Okay.
Yes.
Thompson at Appling County. I'm going to go with Appling.
I'm going Thompson.
I'm gonna go Appling.
Swainsboro.
Appling.
Wait, all right. So who took Thompson?
I saw you, and I was like, this is going to be a good time.
Who took Appling?
Me.
Everybody else took Appling. Okay.
I saw Bo lean into the mic. I was like, I'm
Oh
just going
my
to wait. He'll figure it out.
Swainsboro at Irwin County.
Irwin.
Irwin.
Irwin. St. Francis at Prince Avenue Christian.
Prince Avenue.
Prince Avenue.
Prince Avenue. Oh.
I'll go Prince Avenue.
There you go. All right. Moving along.
That was rather anti.
Lincoln County at Bowden.
Lincoln County. Why not?
I'm gonna take Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Can they get back? I'll go with Lincoln.
Okay.
Shealy County at Johnson County.
Sheely's a fun word to say. Give it to me.
I thought it was Schley. Wait, is it Sheely? I thought it was Schley. What's the
What?
Schley County?
Sheely.
Is Sheely County?
I'm pretty sure it's Shealy.
Okay.
Sounds
know.
like you're replacing letters in that.
Chalet.
Schley.
Who's
Oh,
going to take
okay.
Chalet?
Okay. My bad.
Sheely.
Shealy.
You know what? I'm gonna take Johnson County. I'm the only one to do that. Is that correct?
Well, Bo hasn't picked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As much as I would love to pick Chalet, we're going to go with Johnson County.
Okay.
Okay, now we can get to the locks. Jeff,
There we go.
Jeff, you get to pick first. I get to pick second. Seth, you get to pick third. And
Caleb would get to pick fourth if he were here.
God bless him.
Wow.
Feel better, Caleb.
Okay. I'm probably. Please. I know everybody's about to hate me, but I'm gonna take the Hughes minus 15.
I actually am not hating you for that.
Wow, that's a shock. Everybody got mad at me last
That's an
week.
interesting line there. folks.
That's awfully low.
Okay.
Hughes is averaging like 50,000 points.
So who's next again?
I mean, come on.
I mean, like, I want to talk to the computer to put that together. Yeah. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm going to pick North Oconee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beth?
Who's next?
Give me Carrollton +1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Seth.
How in the world did I get Gainesville when I said they're going to win by 3 touchdowns? Give me Gainesville +7.
Well,
I get the extra touchdown on top of it.
We were saving tissues for you. We didn't want you to cry if anybody picked it, so you're welcome.
I mean, I had a backup plan. I was going to take Cedar Grove -23.
Well, which one do you want?
I want Gainesville.
You want your first plan or your backup plan?
I don't want the backup plan.
Don't,
if I can take the first
don't
plan.
go with your change-up. Come with your heater. Come with your heater.
I don't know why. That was a really good robotic beep. I thought something was wrong. He did it right as I clicked something on the board. I'm like, what'd I do?
All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for the show today. By the way, the broadcast goes live at 7:30-ish, and you can check out that Coach Josh Nimblett interview that I had earlier this week on the pregame show. Dan Kiley, Judd Hickenbotham on the call tonight. Jeffro will be there. Seth will be there. Make sure you follow our Twitter as well for updates throughout the night. And access WDEVAN.com for stories. For the story, photos, and game highlights as Gainesville's going to roll in and get this win tonight. For the entire crew, enjoy the semifinals of the high school football playoffs. Bye-bye.
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 Oh, my God.
I'm leaving that in there, Walker. I'm leaving that right in there.